Good evening. So I wanted to do a review here. I've been doing reviews on Kuhl's products, and I happen to have two of their three big rain shells. And I had some questions when I was posting this stuff on Reddit as well as YouTube. You know, which would you recommend, the one versus the Stretch Voyagr, which I'm going to show you here both in a minute. So I figured I'd go over both, show you. I've got the one shell here, which MSRP is $329. I got it on sale last year for about $100 off. So if you can get it on sale, I highly recommend it. Otherwise, in terms of price point, the Stretch Voyagr behind me here, I have in Pirate Blue comes in at $199. So if you're trying to compare, you know, $329, $199, which one's going to be, you know, more cost effective? After you hear the stats, then maybe you can make a decision. So we'll start with the one. All right, they both boast the same technology. You know, tapered, fully seamed seals, 20K, 25K, waterproof and breathability. So now the difference between the one, if you will, and the Voyagr behind me, the one's fabric is a little bit more rugged. It's a Ripstop Aero material. So if that's a concern for you, the Voyagr doesn't have that. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on. And we'll start with the one, because it's of the two, it's the higher price point, and it's got more of the you know, pockets, things like that. So as the higher cost entry to the series of shells that they provide. So let's get into what it's got. You've got your center zip here. You've got a sleeve pocket. The Kuhl logo is, you know, basically feels soft, like a it feels like a heat transfer type logo. This pocket here on the side comes with a pull tab. It's really small. You know, basically a set of keys, something like that. And because it's got an Aqua-guard zipper, which both do have that, it's a little tough to get pulled back up, if you will. Now underneath, what I like about the one and why I bought it was because the Stretch Voyagr doesn't have the pit vent zips here, where you can open up for breathability if you want, which when you're in the summer and it's raining and you're wearing this, you know, the humidity, you're gonna want that breathability, separate from the breathability of the fabric. It's got the big helmet, you know, massive hood with the Kuhl logo here right on it, and it's adjustable. It has where are they? Where'd they go? Are they on the outside or the inside? I'm trying to remember where the pulls are. They're on the outside. That's what it is. I had to remember where they were, but they've got pull adjustability in there, and then it's got pulls at the bottom. As far as, let me turn the camera down here a little bit. As far as fit, I'm wearing an XL right now. Now you see how far down it is. There's my waist to the pockets and down. This has a nice long tail for the protection of that updraft of colder air or water. It fits, moves really great. Just as a shell by itself. I wear this as a secondary in the winter time if you're wearing something, which I'll show you, like the activator. So, and then has adjustable cuffs here, and you can tighten them as much as you need. I don't really need to, because to me the fit at the sleeve, especially once you put on an undergarment, whether that's a quarter zip, half zip, or something like the activator as an under insulation layer, they pretty much fill in perfectly right now. And right now all I have on is a long sleeve, and that's it. So and then it has an interior pocket here, which again, not very big. It's a mesh breathable pocket, maybe about the depth of my fingers. So, you know, your wallet, not really tall enough for a cell phone, but the pockets are waterproof. They have the same mesh lining for breathability. So if you do get hot, you can open these. That allows air transfer in. You can open the pit vent zips, allows air in. And so as a layer, you have some climate control to yourself to determine, are you going to be, you know, too hot, too cold, etc. And then it's got some nice microfiber right here where it's going to be up against your chin area if you got a beard, things like that. So that's going to keep you from causing any irritation or rashes and stuff. So now I'm going to switch over to the, and then it's got the Kuhl branding on the back. I'm going to switch over to the Voyagr, Stretch Voyagr. This is the non-insulated. So same thing again, interior fully tapered seams, Aqua-guard zippers, durable hook, has an interior pocket, one, and we'll see how much bigger or smaller it is here in a second. Now, just like the Stretch Voyagr insulated jacket, the Stretch Voyagr shell has a slightly more tapered cuff around the wrist, which I'll show you in a second. So we've got it zipped up. It has a, probably about the slightly smaller hood than the other one. The other one I would say is meant for more with a hat or a helmet. If you're an outdoor adventurist, I bought them as rain jackets for when I travel. They're great if you're going to a climate that you're projected to have rain in the week later. They are waterproof. I've worn them several times now over the last 18 months. All right, so the Stretch Voyagrs cuffs aren't as pronounced. The Velcro is recessed just like it is on the insulated part of the jacket. And then as far as the wrist goes, you see it comes down along here and it shortens up around the thumb. So it's more tailored to the natural design of the hand where it meets the arm and the forearm and it goes up your elbow joint. It's articulated and paneled just like the one, just like all of Kuhl's clothing with the patented articulation. And then we'll get into the length. So it's also equally long down to about halfway past the length of my pockets. So it's not going to ride way up when you're wearing it. It'll keep you dry. And so where the Voyagr has some more features not the Voyagr. When the one has more features than the Voyagr, there's no sleeve pocket here. Same heat transfer logo. The Voyagr is much softer. It's more like almost like a silk screen feel, if you will. Like it's extremely soft, flexible. I don't think it's as noisy because it doesn't have that ripstop. So that ripstop denier factor. Again, if you're just one of those trade-offs, it has the pull tabs at the bottom over here and everything, and then again has an interior zip pocket. I just reused the little tag that comes with it to make my zip pull there. As far as depth, it's a little bit bigger in terms of storage pocket. I can actually put my whole hand in here and it comes around the whole breastplate area, if you will. So you can put a phone in here and or a wallet, where I would say the pocket on the one is basically just big enough for a wallet, unless you have one of the smaller flip phones still back in the day. So now let's talk about layering. So again, both 20, 25K respectively, in terms of water, deflection and keeping you dry. They do what they say they do. And both of them have pockets on the inside that have Aqua-guard zippers. So let's go ahead and let's throw on the activator here. So right here I've got the activator hoodie and Raven. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on. And as you layer up, you don't want to necessarily overheat, especially because this is an active insulation jacket. So I'll throw it on, and both the one and the Stretch Voyagr pair very well with this jacket. So first, if you haven't seen the activator before, it's probably my favorite jacket they make for day-to-day wear. It's extremely soft, silky smooth, if you will. Multiple pockets, plenty of storage, and very warm for just the everyday use. So let's start with the Raven, the one first, and we'll show you how it layers up. See how easy it slides on. There's no bunching up of the jacket anyway. It just goes over it like it was intended to be worn this way always. So I can bring that hood up, then I can bring the one's hood up, and now I can go ahead and zip it up and put them both back tore together, and they make a great layered outdoor or travel system. And then you can bring your interior down as you need it, but they fit great. You don't lose any, you don't get any additional restriction of movement, any much tighter in the back. It comes down past your activator. That's the nice part. It's longer than the underlying layer for most layers, so it's going to keep that layer dry. If it gets wet, it defeats the purpose, so that's good. And you see, again, they're articulated around the cuffs to the wrist area right here. The Voyagr is a little bit more pronounced than the one, but otherwise they both have really nice cuff tightening mechanisms, plenty of range of motion, articulation, and they layer well. So then we'll go ahead and we'll take this one off and we'll put the other one on, just so you get a sense of how both work. I took this one off of, what I decided to do is I keep the blue Voyagr that I got on sale and the black one, and I pair them with the activators when I travel throughout the year, so that or to carry them solo. That way when I go places that are heavy in moisture, Oregon, Washington, up in the mountains, things like that, that I have this layer available to me to either keep me insulated and it pairs well with, or to keep me dry. So again, I pull my other hood up, zip up on it, make sure it fits well, and we'll pull the hood up for this. And again, they line up pretty much to a T, so they fit great to keep you dry and warm. And so again, plenty of motion, not too tight, not too restrictive with your layers underneath, and they layer very well. So, and again, comes down past the length of the activator, so my heat stays in, but the water doesn't get in. Keeps me warm and dry. So if I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably do the Stretch Voyagr price-wise, because they're both going to keep me dry and warm and waterproof. But $130 is a lot to pay in a price difference retail just to get a sleeve pocket that I probably wouldn't use, and the pit zip vents that I do want, but unfortunately I'm just not willing to pay the extra $130. The reason why I picked up the one, I got it on sale. If you can get it on sale, then I think it's worth the price if you're going to pick one or the other. But if you got to pay retail, I would recommend the Stretch Voyagr, because it has the same waterproof and breathability from a membrane standpoint as the one. The difference is being the one has the ripstop arrow and the additional vent zippers and the one extra pocket. So otherwise, that's the information I have. Hope that's helpful. Have a great day.